So, Fatman,
So sleazy ho.
what are we going to talk about?
I don't know. Fuck Dave Meltzer.
I mean, we can.
No lube.
No lube.
No lube.
No
Talk
lube.
to us. Spit on that thing.
Well, let's talk about that on the wrestling show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
It's the Fat Man.
Welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. Today, we have Heavy Julius Beefcake the Third.
How are we all doing this evening?
We're enjoying life today.
Oh, yeah.
We
Are
really
we?
don't.
Are we?
Well,
I am.
relatively speaking. We're always. Hey, it's a Tuesday. The show's alive and running. We've got no topics at all.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Right. Jesus Christ.
So a new different camera angle from me. Obviously, as you guys can tell, I have a newer TV below my newer-ish TV. That's a piece of shit fucking Android. But I'll get to it in a minute. So the camera is actually sitting higher up and just pointing down. And the reason why it's a piece of shit Android is I updated it for the first time in like 2 years.
Well, there's your first problem.
And then I went to go watch MLB.TV on it, and it's telling me that there's no broadcast available. And I'm like, I'm watching it on my Roku TV.
There's no.
And then I went to go log into Netflix, and it wouldn't run Netflix. And it's hardwired in to my gig internet. So I'm like, oh.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right for an Android.
Well, wait. What brand of TV is it, though?
Philips.
Ah.
There's the rub.
It's just Android. It doesn't matter what kind it is.
I would. So now we're into Sleazy's Tech Corner here. Go through and delete all your apps except like one or two and see if it works. Because most of the time it's the cache, and because they put literally no storage on them, it fucks everything up, especially
Maybe.
after you update it.
Or I can just buy a Roku and just use it like that. That's probably what I'm going to do.
Okay. I mean, you could do that too. I mean, one costs nothing, the other costs money. So that's all I think. Here's the reality. We kind of referenced this at the end of the last show. We really don't have much to talk about. Obviously, something big happened between last week and this week. So let's kind of talk about that first. And that was the releases.
Yes.
The
list?
I do not have the list offhand.
Oh,
I can go get it. It's not that hard to get the list.
Fine.
Because we have the internet here.
Wait. What's the internet?
It's the thing that's making the show work so far.
Oh, is that what that's how World War I started?
World War IV.
Huh. Well, we need World War III first, and that's about ready to happen.
Jesus Christ. They got rid of a bunch of people earlier this year, too.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
Yep.
So currently, as of today, there are 33 wrestlers or front of house staff, if you want to call it that have been released in 2025. Do we want to start from the beginning, or do we want to just start with the ones that are just the newest?
Just do the newest ones.
Okay. So we'll just go one by one to kind of. Oh, really? Okay. That I'm not even sure if anybody actually announced that one. Maiko Satomura got released.
I heard she
left.
Yeah, not released.
There's a couple on this list that I'm sure weren't specifically "you're fucked, get the fuck out," but more of the contract ended, they're not renewing it, and they're just sitting it out the rest of the day. Okay, so Maiko left. These are in alphabetical order, so some big ones are right off the top. Braun Strowman.
That is kind of a surprise because he was kind of feuding with Jacob Fatu like a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
It
Yeah.
just seems like he could not get any traction, no matter what he did there. It just seemed like he got part of the Wyatt family, and then all of a sudden, it just they thought they couldn't find anything for him, which is a shock.
Well, I mean, after the Wyatt family, I'm like in 2020, he was the world champion. Sorry, that kind of bugged me. He was didn't help at all. He was the world champion, but then or the universal champion, whatever you want to do. And basically, okay, get the camera focus. Good. He lost. They released him after that, and then they re-signed him. And you're right. He just couldn't get any traction at all.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember when Paul White, the Giant, won the world title in WCW? That run the first time. It felt like those two runs felt similar to me. Like, oh yeah, cool. He's the obviously he's the champion. And that's kind of the hard part about putting the title on somebody that big, because they're an attraction that's almost above and beyond the title itself.
Right.
I mean, the Giant was champion for 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, oh yeah, cool. He's the champ.
Until actually it was more than that. I think it was almost 10. You have 10 months, October to August, I think.
Yeah.
But it was weird. I don't know.
I think Braun. Here's the problem with Braun, in my opinion, is that Braun is big. Braun is
Rawr.
big. That's all. There's literally nothing to his gimmick other than he's big. And one of the big reasons why I'm always a huge fan of indie workers and how they deal with it is that you're kind of forced to go a little bit into the creative side of it for yourself in terms of character development. You have to have that moment where you need to go, okay, well, this isn't working. How should I change this? And Braun Strowman has been Braun Strowman since day one. Even in the Wyatt family, what was his gimmick?
Rawr!
Yeah. So it's like,
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one was probably the biggest surprise out of all of them. Cora Jade.
Cora Jade.
Yeah.
Cora Jade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was really, really surprising. And then she posted something on social media about how she was body shamed. I don't believe that for a second. The only reason why I don't believe that is because they were talking about how she needed to go into the gym and do some cardio and stuff like that. But then she was saying oh, I was body shamed. It's like, is it body shaming to try to get your cardio up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially when you're coming back from an injury.
Right.
There may be some Carlito-ness there. Like early Carlito, where he just was just so talented, but just was super lazy. That I could see that possibly. Again, wasn't there. But I can see that. I can see that being part of the reason. Yeah.
I'm always going to. I always like to step back away from a lot of stuff when they start shooting off like that, because let's be honest here, we weren't there. We don't know what happened, so it's hard to speculate on something like that. But I will say there's a definite difference between being cardio ready for wrestling and ring ready for wrestling.
Yeah, they're totally different.
You
I could be on the elliptical for 3 hours a day, being boom, 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 and they go in the ring and be like.
It's funny because you joke about that, but there were early on when I was training, I was more ring cardio ready than I was actually running anywhere. No shit, I could do a 4 or 5 minute match without too much trouble. Obviously,
but him walking up a flight of stairs.
legitimately, the place where we trained was up a flight of stairs. It was worse for me to go up the stairs than it was to do the ring work. No joke. No fucking joke. So there might be little column A, little column B there. I know somebody else. I don't know who was kind of insinuating it, but that she wasn't the only one. I don't know.
What, about being body shamed or?
Yeah. Somebody else came to her side about it, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna say much more than that about it because it was just it sucks. The other one that was a little less of a shock, but still a shock, was Dakota Kai.
That was like Cora Jade. I was surprised, but Dakota Kai was another bigger one.
Mhm.
This is kind of shitty. This is my perspective on it. 200 year, he's just 200 prone.
Yeah,
I mean, it sucks, but I mean, if you're just out all the time, you're not.
Well,
yeah. What do you do?
What do you do? Yeah.
On the sports show, what do we say your best ability is?
It's everywhere in life. Your best your best ability is availability, and so I just got brighter up with the Red Sox game on the
How dare you
on the bigger TV. Don't worry, we're losing 3-0 in the fourth. It's fine.
Who are they even facing? I don't even know.
The Rangers.
Okay. Danny Palmer. Danny, California, but not. Yeah, whatever. Eddie Thorpe. A lot of people saw a lot of upside in him. I didn't.
Yeah, he was okay in the ring.
He's a great example of he needs to go out and learn another hold.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think he was young too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think maybe it could be an attitude issue too.
Yeah, shit happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Can he be like a Drew McIntyre, like where he went away and basically polished himself up to come back?
The problem with Eddie Thorpe is Drew was like the chosen one right at the bat. There was super high potential for him, and I think he kind of like folded underneath the pressure. And then there's another fucking run scored, and and he just was. I think he folded underneath the pressure. He had an attitude issue, and he thought he was bigger than he was. But then going away really helped him. Eddie Thorpe, he was.
He was there.
He was there.
Sometimes you just need to get out there, figure out who you are as a person, as a performer, as a wrestler, and maybe you get something good out of that. Or maybe you don't, and then you're working with PJ Polacco at the back of Olive Garden.
It was Alabama Doink at a Golden Corral. Get it right.
Excuse me. Which Doink number was that? 7 or 8?
Alabama Doink.
Yeah, I don't remember which Doink Alabama Doink was. Okay,
it was no number Doink. He was Alabama Doink.
I don't know that.
His name was Alabama Doink. That one was also. Wait, she got released?
She got released.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Who's this?
Gigi Dolan.
Yes, Gigi Dolan got released as well. Yeah,
I didn't even see that name. That TNA.
I mean, yeah. She's another one that struggled after the Fatal Influence.
Yeah, and she wasn't doing much.
When JC Jane got released, I knew it was just a question of when.
Yeah,
at that point.
And it just she wasn't doing much. When I saw her at at Rebellion, I was like, oh, okay. And then, yeah,
I think Fatal Influence could have been one of the top factions had they kept Mandy, which is terrible to think now. Looking back, obviously, hindsight's always 20/20. But you take
Mandy's striving.
Yeah, well, she didn't need wrestling.
No, she did not need wrestling.
She proved that.
She She needed wrestling to get the marks to buy her OnlyFans.
That's
Right.
fair. Yeah.
But still.
Oh! Okay, that's good.
I was just
Hey,
going to say
Julian.
that. Just going to say we got Julian in the hizzle.
Julian's here. So, where was I?
Mandy Rose needed
Mandy
marks
Rose.
to watch her.
Fatal
get-
influence, titties.
Yep.
You know the thing.
Women's wrestling.
Yeah, I know. Well, there is a surprising amount of women that got released this time around.
Yes.
Which is also surprising too. Speaking of which, Jakarta Jackson got released.
Again,
TNA.
yeah, she was metaphor, dude. Like I was that surprised me too.
Yeah. It kind of odd. Here we'll talk about it at the end, I'm sure. But Javier Bernal. Yeah. Joe Coffey.
Yeah, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang. Those Gallus, basically.
Yeah, it was all of Gallus. Yeah.
Yeah, that surprised me too. But also, what have they been doing? Have they been hurt? Has one of them been hurt? Like I mean,
yeah.
Yep. Most of these people haven't really been doing much, and if they do, they run a TNA one-off, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right, because there was nothing for them. It was literally the definition of we have nothing for you.
Yep.
Right.
Another team that I was surprised that they released, knowing how the tag division is Katana Chance and Caden Carter. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a shock. That surprised me too a little bit too. Yep.
Especially considering that how many other now I'm going to say this with the caveat of two singles thrown together into a tag team does not make them necessarily a permanent tag team. Think about all the actual women's tag teams there are in here. You got what? The Kabuki Warriors and
Liv and Raquel.
They're not.
Right. True.
It's Sean and Diesel, but in women form.
All right, I'm turning the Red Sox game off. They're just giving up. It's 6-0 now. They're just giving up run after run.
Well, you can put on the Boston game and watch them miss threes all the time.
Wow.
That was yesterday.
Today's a different day.
43 fucking 3. We'll get to it on the best start.
But yeah, they were the last real tag team left.
True.
Like even the Kabuki Warriors, to an extent, were thrown together. Like, oh look,
Asians!
They're Asian. Throw them together, see what happens. You know, Damage Control was the last real team on the main roster.
They were still, even at WrestleMania, they were still saying that EO was part of Damage Control, and I'm all like, is she?
Yeah.
Where's Kyrie been? Dakota's hurt. Is she?
Kyrie was also hurt. Kyrie's hurt. Asuka's hurt. Most of the team is fucking on the injured reserve, mainly because it was fucking. They beat the shit out of all of them because there wasn't that much talent at the top end because they, frankly speaking, haven't been pushing. Like that's part of the reason why they did this whole thing with Charlotte was that they felt like that there was not enough star power for WrestleMania on the women's side. Yeah, it's like,
I can agree with that.
Is it that, or is it they don't trust anybody to put in that spot?
Little column A, little column B, I think. But yeah, Ora Mensa. Yeah. Riley Osborne. Ryan Popola. He was a host or something?
Yeah, he wasn't he the host of like some show that was it the? I was gonna say bite this.
Oh, the bump.
The bump.
He was the thing of the bump. Baszler, which she had one foot out the door. Let's be honest.
I was gonna say it's about time. I mean,
I don't want to say it was about time. I think it was she just didn't give a shit anymore. Like,
Yeah,
because they kept pushing. They put to give Heavy G his flowers here. There's a woman that they just simply did not want to trust. Like,
right.
she could absolutely run that division roughshod, and they never gave her the ball. The best
Well-
thing they did, she started a pandemic.
I'm just gonna say she started a pandemic. That's why she got released. They just realized that.
Yeah, I go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just weird because they have the influx of like the fighters like what's her name down in NXT, one that shakes her butt all the time.
Stephanie Vaquer.
Oh yeah, but you have yeah.
Sorry, I was able to say that based upon your description.
But they have all like with all the young talent, I think she could have been more of a help than she was given. I think.
I don't think they knew what to do with her, though.
She peaked in NXT.
I don't
Which
think
is
so.
I do, which is kind of saying that they didn't know what to do with her. Main roster didn't know what to do with her.
Could it be that she didn't really broaden her steps outside of the quote MMA style that she had?
Again, she's like a Braun. She didn't do anything else.
Right. Like she didn't have the aerial. She didn't have, but it was just strictly ground and pound, which I get, but that can only take you.
Well, even Kurt Angle changed his character.
Right. Exactly. It doesn't seem like she did.
He never did.
Even Ronda Rousey did.
It's funny because she's one of the bigger examples I usually point to who had a good following and was actually doing some really cool shit on TikTok. Like, the stuff that she was doing on TikTok was funny. It was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. It was this whole, like, the entire point of her was this, she was straight manning a lot of the other women's TikToks, and that was her entire gimmick on TikTok. It was great. I loved it. I thought it was great. But the thing is that doesn't necessarily translate to WWE TV unless you have a way to get it there. You know what I mean?
You do.
Yeah, it's
you
hard.
do. R-Truth.
R-Truth did it to an extent, but the problem is that the way it worked, at least with the gimmick of what she was doing, doesn't necessarily translate to long form TV.
I don't know. I never watched her TikTok. I don't have TikTok.
It's fine. Well, that's a little bit of the credence to it is that what kind of demographic are you looking at there? The last one is probably the most heartbreaking. My daughter is gone. They released, let her
contract expire,
whatever. Let her account expire. Wow.
Her account.
Because, we were just talking about TikTok. Shotzi's gone.
Now you have to support her again.
God damn it.
We're back in the basement.
You'll be happy.
I'm living in the basement. How do you think I've been doing this show for 12 years? So in all sincerity, I think that part of me feels like that she just either didn't care anymore about actual wrestling, or she had gotten to the point where nobody really knew what to do with her once again.
There were SmackDowns I watched when she came out and the crowd went mild would be an improvement. Mm-hmm. She got no reaction.
I don't understand why.
At all. It just...
I don't know.
I don't know either, but at the same time, when you're going out there night after night, getting zero reaction and nothing's changing, the moral of the story is nothing is... Most of these wrestlers who released, not most of them, some of them, they didn't change.
Right.
So...
And I'm hoping, and this is an appeal to everyone who listens to our show that is potentially want to be a wrestler in the future, or is a wrestler now and is just working through the indies, or my God, if you're listening to our show and you've worked in WWE or TNA or anything, what the fuck are you listening to us for?
Hey, Colin.
Hey, Colin, how you doing? The reality is we're going to support you no matter what, because we support professional wrestling as a whole. We're people that love professional wrestling more than anything else. It doesn't matter if it's WWE. We're not part of the whole we're fed batters no matter what, or fuck AEW no matter what. But the reality is that it's going to get a little harder for you because you don't have that guaranteed money anymore. But this is also a learning experience where you could potentially change your character and make more money down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that you do from now on, might be a change in your character. This might be a change in what you're doing. This might be a change in who you are. You can, Matt Cardona said it pretty well, is that you can either wallow in your own fucking pity or you can take over the next step of your career.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I butchered what he actually said, but that's basically the upshot of what he said.
Yeah.
And this is a big moment for a lot of these people that just got released. I want to see Shayna Baszler in GCW destroying people. I need to see Rina Yamashita versus fucking Shayna Baszler in a full-on hardcore match. I might actually cream myself seeing that. There are a lot of people on this list that we rattled off that will be much better in 2 years, 3 years, because a lot of them are going to get picked up. Maybe not necessarily AEW, TNA, New Japan. They might work CMLL. They might work the ICW in Europe, or WXW, or whatever. There's so many other possibilities for them. So I hope everyone lands on their feet pretty well after all of this. So, that was a lot, actually. That we actually ripped through quite a bit there. I have a bunch of 5-minute topics here as well that I want to kind of rattle off, see what we can make out of them. I'll just literally machine gun them out. So forgive me if it's quick. Forgive me if I cut people off. We're just going to rip through this list. Number 1 is the wrestling entrance still relevant and important in 2025?
Yes.
Yes.
Give me your favorite current and your least favorite current wrestling catchphrase.
Catchphrase? Well, least favorite's what? Just because.
Because it's still in 25 people are fucking saying it.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I'll add on to that. This is awesome.
Yeah.
When it's only mid.
Yeah.
And those aren't even really catchphrases as much as just crowd reactions.
Yeah. I would go along with the what favorite right now. I mean, would it just be cliche to say yeet?
Is there really that many catchphrases anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but there was as many as there are in the Attitude Era.
Well, what about, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman.
I don't know why my chair's squeaking today. It hasn't squeaked all day. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sure, Paul Heyman. Why not?
I dare say that there's one big one that we haven't even said. Say his name, and he appears. I
believe in Joe Hendry. Yes.
Is that a catchphrase, though?
I would consider it a catchphrase only because when it first became a thing, it was literally he would appear when people said it. Don't ever say his name.
Yep.
Say whose name? Is kayfabe completely dead, or is it just evolved?
It's evolved.
It's evolved.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's dead in the sense that even Triple H is sitting there saying we're not trying to pull the wool over people's eyes anymore. You know, I think there's more and more of a nod to the fact that, yeah, what we're doing is not, you know, fully real. You know, it's not, you know, combat sport like UFC is. But what we're doing here is telling a story, creating a moment, creating emotion. And that's not necessarily killing kayfabe to say that.
Even this is why I say it's evolved. Excuse me. Even good TV shows will throw a curveball at you every once in a while and be like, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
You think it'll go one direction, it goes completely the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what it is. It's a TV show. So
I forget who said it, but it was. I think it was one of Fatman favorite wrestlers, Eddie Kingston, that said.
I was gonna say Nick Gage,
but he said it's like if you go to a movie, you go to that movie and you suspend your belief.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Or like if you're watching a TV show, you get embedded in it to where, okay. And I think people didn't want to do it at first. It's like, oh, I believe it's real. But now you can, if you can suspend your belief that, okay, you know, we know what it is, but if you could just lose yourself in it, it could be really, really fucking good.
Well, the Bloodline storyline.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's still evolving now. I mean, look at that promo that fucking Heyman did on Jay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's not wrong.
Nope. No.
Should WWE bring back more specialized match types? Things like Inferno match, casket match, Punjabi prison?
No,
not the Punjabi prison.
No.
Well,
let's see here. Inferno match was Kane.
Yep.
Casket match was Undertaker.
Buried alive.
Prison was God.
Great Khali.
Great Khali, even though he wasn't in the first one.
Right?
Buried alive.
Buried alive.
Undertaker.
Like, no. Like,
ambulance match?
You can still do an ambulance match.
But why?
But but why? Like, they don't need to do it anymore if they're telling a good story.
No.
I 100% agree.
If you...
They say Vince Russo, who just has an ambulance match just to have one, because gimmicks, bro.
Yeah. If the match is good, you don't need gimmicks.
I will make one huge exception for all of that.
Bagger on a pole. Judy Bagger
on a pole.
Forklift,
first of all. Forklift. Get it right. When they do spin the wheel, make the deal.
I like that.
But then again, it's not about the match.
Here's the thing.
Of it.
The spin and wheel make you deal. We have a false count anywhere match, a no disqualification match, every different match type that mean the same exact thing. That's
absolutely right.
That's what it is.
But it shouldn't be. You put those stupid, you literally bring out and don't gimmick it either, so that it could actually come up as Inferno match.
Right.
It just be just this crazy, you have to. How cool of a sell would that be? Where two wrestlers are like, yeah, we're gonna fucking do it, and then it comes up Inferno match, and they're like,
well, wouldn't that be almost like what happened between Jake Roberts and Sting?
The coal miner's glove match.
Really, you're going to have those two entities go at it, and you're going to have a coal miner's glove match.
I thought it was great. I don't know what you're talking about.
That match sucked. Fuck you.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, you have Hell in the Cell. You have Elimination Chamber. You have TLC.
You have a steel cage if you need to be.
Right.
You have War Games.
Mm-hmm. Name an underrated wrestler who has not had a current title run yet that deserves one
Like
in
a world,
WWE.
like a world title run.
Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna go world title. I'm gonna say Sami Zayn.
Okay. WG?
Hmm.
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm just trying to figure out. I was going to say Sami Zayn. I'm gonna go out in left field here. U.S. title, Carlito.
He's already been a U.S. champ.
Yeah. Famously stabbing John Cena for it, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's raining in Pennsylvania, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It was downpouring here.
It missed us.
What
It might not
about
miss again, though.
what about Chad Gable with the world title?
Chad Gable with yeah.
Chad would be a good one.
Chad Gable. Dude, we're missing the biggest fucking one. I can't believe we didn't think about this. El Grande Americano with the triple A mega championship. Come on.
He's future AAA.
Yeah.
AAA.
Speaking of that, WWE signed.
Oh.
Yeah, they grabbed a bunch of them.
Yeah,
I can't. I assume we'll talk about that in our news and rooms.
I thought we were doing the whole news and rumors thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I know they signed Del Rio. Yeah, they signed a couple AAA.
Kingo, basically all their top stars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like half the roster that was actually under contract. The ones that they didn't think would have any value, they didn't grab, which is kind of stupid. But like Lady Wonder and Lady Flaminga, Del Rio. I'm missing another big one, but
there's another one. I'm trying to look for it now, but
Octagon?
I came across this article that with Triple Mania coming in on June 15th, they're expected to be not only WWE stars but TNA stars there. They're expecting the Hardy Boys, Joe Hendry,
Jesus,
Penta, obviously Rey Fenix, Dominic Mysterio, and Chad Gable.
No, why would Chad Gable show up?
I don't know why Chad Gable would show up. Makes no sense to me.
I forgot to ask you this during when you said about presentation about people like that.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your worst to best, like the worst presentation of a person that transferred to like a different? Like I'll give you a hint: Isaac Yankem to Kane. Okay,
Worst to best.
Worst to best.
Whoa! You're missing a gimmick in between there too, buddy.
Yeah, Fake Diesel.
Oh, Fake Diesel. But
how dare you forget Fake Diesel?
But like, what would be your one that's from worst to best, and probably from best to worst?
I can tell you the worst from worst to best without question. The easiest, and modern too. Bray Wyatt from Husky Harris. That's like night and day.
Night and day.
In terms of best gimmick to worst gimmick, how do you fuck up La Sombra? No.
The Sombra kind of fucked himself up.
I was gonna say LA Knight to Max Dupree.
That's true. That's a good one. You know, okay, I'm just gonna say it. Mystico.
Yeah.
Mystico fucking himself.
Chavo Guerrero to Kerwin White.
Well,
I think that would have had wheels. Honestly, no. I'm gonna defend Kerwin White. Had Guerrero not died, Kerwin White would have been hilarious, and would have lasted about 6 more months. But still, it would have been funny as hell until then.
But to me, the worst one, Dustin Rhodes, 7.
Okay. Do you believe? Okay, I'm gonna see if I can try and say this correctly. Do you believe?
And Joe Hendry.
Thank you. That the 7 gimmick was never intended to be a real gimmick.
Well,
aha! I got people.
There you go.
Conspiracy theory number 47,000. I dare say that 7 was never meant to be a gimmick. And it was Vince Russoing the shit out of something. Bro, how about this? We do this whole gimmick, man, and then you come out there and you shit on the gimmick because of your thing with Gold Dust.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not something Russo would have done.
Okay, then
100% is what Russo would have done.
Then I do have the worst one then probably. Alex Wright in Berlin. I think the timing of that sucked.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And then afterwards, they paired him with Disco Inferno again anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
As Berlin.
As Berlin. It's just unbelievable.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh, wait a minute. What about Disco Inferno? To Disco Inferno.
Oh, true. Disco Inferno.
I mean, Disco Fever will
But from
always
Disco
run wild.
Inferno to a rapping Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
How about Disco Inferno to the misogynist Disco Inferno?
That was always the same thing.
Yeah.
That was the same character.
Oh, I didn't realize it was not a character. I'm gonna. Should legends keep wrestling past 50?
Are you fucking kidding? Are you?
I think he has proof.
Yeah, Your Honor. We all have proof. Let's see.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A.
BCW.
I guess it would. Are you talking about like full time or one offs? Because
Even
if it's
one-offs.
if it's a one off, it depends on the wrestler. Ricky Steamboat can still go in 2009.
There's the thing.
But it was it was a 2 off at that point. But then you go to that same match and you have Rowdy Piper and Snuka and it's like they can barely fucking move. It depends on the worker. It depends on the situation. BCW was not the right situation or the right workers.
Oh.
And
then you
Chris
have
Jericho.
Yeah. But then you have a Dory Funk Jr. wrestling in a exploding barbed wire whatever match over in Japan in '83. Really?
We're missing the biggest one, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like in his 50s, he was still going. So you got to remember, he won the 1992 Royal Rumble at like 40 years old.
Right.
So
some could you can do it, but you have to. I don't know.
It depends on the situation and the worker.
Depends on the worker. If it's a terrible worker, no.
Here's my answer to this, and probably won't shock anybody in this room. Absolutely, because for a lot of these guys, that's all their income is.
Yep, nostalgia sells too.
True.
Oh, absolutely. That BCW show was just as full, if not more full, than the Stardom show.
Mm-hmm.
And that show was also more full than either one of the TNA shows we were at. Because nostalgia fucking sells.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it was fuller than
the second one wasn't. You're right. The New Japan the
one we went to.
Yeah, that one was
But then do you go in there knowing that it's going to be shit?
We should have.
Yeah, we should have.
But it's a moment, though. There's the thing, is that it was about the history of the building, the history of ECW as a whole, the history of these workers. Yeah, absolutely. That match, the opening match was probably the biggest load of garbage that I ever saw until we saw the second match. But the reality is,
and then we saw part of the third.
Right?
Yeah.
But people were popping for it. People were getting into it. People wanted to, like, we joked about the fact Shane Douglas got on the mic and said, "For one night, please boo me." But the reality is they did.
Mm-hmm.
He had them in the palm of their hand for the most part.
But then it's like, this is awesome. I just
Perception's reality in that point.
and yeah.
And what the rolling turds in the ring.
Wait, they actually hit the mat?
Well, some of them did.
Some of them did.
One person took a bump, but just to kind of put a bow on that, yeah, absolutely. They should be, if they think they can make money on it, go for it. Work your ass off. I don't give a fuck. If people are willing to pay for it, then you should be willing to charge them for it.
What the hell did Joey Janela show have on WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, match with
the senior scramble.
Oh, that was great. Well, I was going to talk about him and Sabu, but okay.
But the senior scramble with, I think the youngest person being, I think, 52 years old, in Gilbert.
Yeah.
You know, but if I guess for me, it's I don't ever want to see Ric Flair's last match. The last match he had with Jarrett.
Oh, the tag match.
Yeah. To me, I would rather watch Flair. I'd rather watch Flair in TNA when he was getting in a woo off with frickin' Jay Lethal than watch that match knowing how it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I still haven't seen it, and people gave me shit for it. Like, you're the biggest Ric Flair mark. You didn't watch his last match. I go, no.
I don't want to watch his last match.
I, of all people, I was the only one to watch it. And trust me, you ain't missing shit.
No,
I'm not going to watch it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
To me, his last match was with Shawn Michaels.
Exactly.
Is it
TNA
true?
never
No.
happened.
No.
Yeah.
But,
He did have some good in TNA though.
He had good moments.
Moments. Yeah.
From a pure aesthetic standpoint, not as prestige, what championship looks the best right now?
like,
Purest, like the look of it, like the current championships.
Well, the Intercontinental title is not the correct answer because that's the worst.
No, that's right there.
He just wanted to put that in there because he's. I bet on the record saying it's a gorgeous title. I love it. I still stand by that.
It's so
I still
generic.
say-
It's so bad.
It
Well,
was
basically,
different.
most of the titles now are basically generic as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what? Give me the AEW title. I like that title. No, AEW tag titles. Those titles I like.
I can agree with that.
Because they remind me of the old WCW tag team titles.
See,
That's good.
if I were to have a title, I would want the old school Intercontinental title.
Yep. The one that like Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect had.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's my. If we're talking about current, it's the AEW title.
For me, it's a toss up. Really, it's a toss up between the AEW title and honestly, I really like both the men's. Well, I like them, but there's part of me that's like, eh. But I think it looks better on the women's world championship. I think looks the best
with the white strap.
The white strap, but that it. I think it's because they 3/4 sized it for the women that makes it less garish than the men's one. And the white belt kind of also makes it kind of makes it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to the eye, in my opinion. It also doesn't hurt that an Asian's holding it too. So,
Mark.
But whatever. No, in all seriousness, I do like the look of the belt, but also the U.S. title. The current version of the U.S. title is pretty interesting too. Is wrestling better with or without blood?
Depends on the circumstance, storytelling being told. Some doesn't actually need it. Some need it. It just depends.
You don't want to Abdullah or Moxley every freaking night or Flair. I mean, yeah, red is green supposedly, but
But here's the thing about that. You say red is green, not anymore.
well, no. I'm saying back then they said red was green.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You only need it in special occasions. I think the only time that I saw blood that was used really good. Now I'm going to date myself again because I'm the old fuck here. Was Batista, Triple H, Hell in the Cell, the last one, the final one of the trilogy.
Yeah.
That was good, but not every freaking match needs blood.
No. John Moxley
Right.
getting into a fucking sling blade.
Yeah.
The funny part is probably the best use of blood in most recent
Tony
memory
Storm and Mariah
is-
May.
Yeah.
Because that was a blood feud.
Yeah.
And you can justify it.
Right.
I think Punk McIntyre had blood too in the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
Blood feud. If it's the right circumstance.
Do you think, and let's kind of offshoot this a little bit. I don't know what Ryan's talking about. Ryan apparently has some interesting news.
Well, that was Heavy G, or not Heavy G.
Well, I don't know about that one.
Hold on. Keep talking.
Okay. That was about Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha. Okay. That's news to me.
Let's throw this one. One wrestling trope that needs to go that doesn't involve the crowd, because we already talked about this is awesome bullshit.
Wrestling trope that
Yes.
needs to
go. Like, I don't ever want to see this again.
no selling.
Okay. That's a lot of trope.
Oh yeah, when you
Talking to you, AEW.
a guy hits two Canadian destroyers and gets up with the clothesline. I miss those days when the finish.
Do you miss the day where you take a Canadian destroyer off a ladder through the table and you get right back up immediately to set up the next spot?
Yeah. That just
Okay, no. You're gonna call that spot out and not call out the dueling Canadian destroyers spot?
oh yeah, it's just absolutely asinine.
I'm gonna throw this out there. The distraction roll up. That needs to die a horrible death.
It hasn't been as prominent as it was
5 years
ago.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's, if used effectively, sure. But like Vince McMahon was just all like, everyone was an idiot.
Yeah.
Distraction, roll up. It's gone away, but not.
Mhm.
It's never should have been a thing.
Yeah.
The roll up of death is what it
The
is.
roll up of death.
Yep.
I don't like the referee, like in the Cena Rhodes match. I can do without the referee getting smashed in the corner or getting hit with a clothesline or something like that. I mean, I know you want to do the swerve, but
Well, it's not on the swerve. The refs start at 10 HP.
Right?
I mean, so
You blow on them hard enough, they fall down and they're dead for 5 minutes.
That's been a rule in wrestling forever.
right.
It's so if the ref can take more damage than the wrestler, what's the point?
I get it, but it was bad when that other referee got knocked off by getting pulled out of the ring. Are you out of your?
Happened before.
Oh,
Okay, I'll go one step further. Ref bumps have been way too often.
Yes.
Like, for fuck's sakes, how many times we had a ref bump during a Roman Reigns match the last 5 years?
Well,
Right.
how many times have we had a ref bump in a
AEW.
noticeable match?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's an ODQ match. Let them fucking work it out.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Let's do. Oh, this one's a softball. Should managers make a full comeback in wrestling?
Yes.
Absolutely.
yes.
Said the guy who spent the vast majority of his career in wrestling being a manager. Obviously. We talked a little bit about this earlier when we were talking about releases. Has social media helped or hurt wrestling characters?
Hurt.
Again, depends on the situation and the performer.
Look at this asshole.
I'm not on social media.
He's not wrong, by the way.
I'm on Facebook. That's it. And I'm barely on it. So, and I have Instagram. I have one post in how many years I fucking have it? One fucking post. I'm not on social media. So, but when Becky was going through her man phase, she was using social media effective as fuck. Because I would read the dirt sheets and there'll be posts from her in there. Be like, that's fucking clever.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some times where, and Sleazy's going to bitch at me about bringing this back up again. When AEW first started, yes, I understand they did not have a TV show at the time. They would do their storylines on social media. And then we would watch their specials and I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Because I'm not on social media.
Right.
I do not know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So... And I said, you're only catering to a small portion of the audience doing it that way. And at the same time, AEW hasn't changed.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a TV deal, but
they're still catering to a small portion of the internet audience. But it depends on the situation, the performer, the storyline, what's going on.
It can help the performer. I think it's hurt the business. With all the fucking spoilers that's out there.
Yeah, no.
We're not talking about like spoilers or anything like that. I'm talking about wrestlers using social media. Is that where you're?
Yeah, trying to get themselves over.
Yeah.
Well, but that can help. Like
Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
But YouTube as Zack Ryder.
The Internet Championship.
Let me throw one out for you that you're probably not even aware of, Fat Man.
Probably not.
Baron Corbin.
Yes.
You guys have talked about it.
His stuff is cooking stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing.
His cooking shit is amazing content.
Now, is it helping his wrestling career?
Yes, because it's getting him booked other places too.
Okay.
Because he's still in the minds of other people. Maybe not as always the Baron Corbin character,
right?
But the man, Tom Peastock, is doing great things, and he's got a career outside of professional wrestling that's helping him create money and value.
Okay.
So there's that piece of it.
As long as it's helping him get bookings, sure. If he's just doing it to do it and it's not helping, then what's the point?
But the thing is that
if it's making money for him,
it's keeping his name out there though.
Yeah, that was my point, is that even if it wasn't directly making money for him, it's making money for him because he's in the minds of people out there still.
Right.
And I think that's a big point to give to a lot of the kids coming up, is that you want to be known, you have to get yourself out there. And the way to do that back in the 80s, 90s is to work for every fucking shindy in the world. These days, you don't have to do that as much, but you got to make sure that you're fully trained and fully able to do your spots and do your bits and whatnot, and make sure that you're creating value for the promoter that you're working for. But you don't have to take unneeded risk working at a shindy that could potentially get you hurt because you're working against somebody that doesn't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I'm going to be honest with this. I never heard of the Young Bucks until I watched the Elite on YouTube.
That says a lot.
Be the Elite.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew of the Young Bucks or Omega until I watched that, and that got me with them. So, I mean, if it's done effectively, it can be a great tool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's an interesting one. Do you believe WWE has finally nailed the identity of the brand of NXT?
No.
Not if they keep setting talent down there, no.
It's not setting talent down. They knew the brand of NXT in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. Those 4 years were the golden ages of NXT. They were a super indie. Look who was on the roster. Now, they're NIL people who are super athletic, who we don't know who they are, and they're just coming up.
Yep.
So I guess yes. Now that I've talked myself into that.
But
So
yeah,
NXT's evolved, but get it? Haha.
yeah.
Get there. But they're not as good as what. Obviously, they're not as good as what they were 6 years ago.
LVG, thoughts?
I understand them sending like main roster talent down there, but I'd rather see them.
But they're not really sending that much main roster talent anymore.
They don't have to. They pull TNA now.
They pull TNA.
Right.
Joe Hendry's on every week now.
That's what I mean. But he still. Did you say okay because he's in TNA? No one knew him, but it's still like a major. To me, NXT should be like, as a sports analogy, should be like AAA baseball, Fatman.
It is.
Okay, but then you shouldn't have like Ricky Starks isn't an NXT. Shouldn't be an NXT in my eyes.
Wrong. He should be.
Why?
He's not ready.
I disagree, but that
See that there's a thing.
He's not. He has the look. He has the ring skills. He needs to work on his promos. That's why he's down there.
Okay,
To be honest,
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry
is a TNA contracted superstar.
No,
that
no.
made it to WrestleMania, by the way.
Okay, but how many viewers does TNA get? How many views does NXT get? About triple that of TNA. It's a business move for Joe Hendry to want to be on NXT and be associated with WWE. So, and maybe be more than triple.
Okay.
But like it, so.
See, the thing is, here's
another thing too. Yes, you have some veterans in TNA. He's broadening his horizons, and you get the TNA World Champion on WWE programming every week. There's no downside either way.
A TNA World Champion on basically the C show,
which is doing better than TNA is.
How many viewers does NXT get now?
I'm thinking like it was last time I looked was 2 months ago and it was like 600,000.
Do they get more? Do they get more than AEW?
Yes.
Yeah, they do. The reason why I say this, and this is why I want to throw this out there, is Joe Hendry's music video for his theme music.
Mm-hmm.
How many views do you think that has?
Over millions.
Got ballpark numbers?
I'm gonna
Seven's always the answer.
I'm gonna say 16.5 million.
Fatman's closer. It's 9.1 million. But the point I want to point out here is that you take a look at all the places that Joe Hendry has shown up. The clip with him at the Rumble, 2.2 million. You take a look at some of the stuff.
Hold on, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. I wanted to see what his
TikTok from WWE, 7.5 million from the Royal Rumble. You know, you take a look at these numbers, and then you understand that it's not just Joe Hendry wants more exposure to NXT. NXT wants exposure of Joe Hendry.
His Spotify for the I Believe in Joe Hendry, over 6 million. His next highest song, because he has more than one song out.
Yep. There's like 20,000. It's nothing.
144,000.
That's more than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is,
6 million, over 6 million. And that's another, it's business both ways. That's why Joe Hendry's on. TNA gets the name recognition, WWE gets to bank off Joe Hendry.
Here's a question: who would you say next to Tony Storm? I think Tony Storm was the best in AEW for women right now.
Mhm.
Who's number 2?
In AEW,
Yeah, Mariah May,
Athena. No,
Athena.
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 Yeah. Ember Moon.
Yeah, but the CSI can't use that though, because Ember Moon was she was Ember Moon. But now with Mariah May, would you
Tony
put
Storm was
would you
in
put-
WWE,
would you put Mariah May in NXT or would you put her right at the main roster?
NXT.
Say I wouldn't, but once again, that's
Then again, Jade Cargill.
She should have been in NXT.
they hot shot at her. Yeah.
Right.
And once again, no, I agree with Fatman on this one. She should have been in NXT.
Oh, I agree too.
With Mariah May, does she need to be in NXT? No, I don't. I honestly don't think so.
I don't think-
She has the look. Obviously, she's one, gorgeous, and two, can wrestle. She can wrestle and she can talk. The problem being, you have another. Well, I mean, you could put her on Raw. Attractive, blonde-headed woman who basically has this almost the same gimmick. Who was your world champion on SmackDown?
Yeah, true.
So that's why you should differ. You should move her, keep her on. It doesn't matter, but at the same time,
To me, I think Jordan Grace should be up on the main roster.
I agree with that.
Hard agree. Yeah.
I don't think she should be in NXT either. Same with Stephanie Vaquer.
Right.
I don't think she should be in NXT either.
Well, look at how quickly they hot shot her into the title, though.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
So
Same with Julia. I don't think
I
she should be in NXT either.
I think the reason why they both went to NXT first is because they wanted to bring up other women,
Mhm.
and there was so much of a gap in talent between Roxy and Tiffy that they needed somebody in the interim to kind of bridge that gap.
I agree.
And those two absolutely do it in spades.
Yeah.
I'll do one last one because I think this is a big one.
I hope you do the one I want you to do.
Your face.
Whoa. Go ahead, do it then. Because I just have a list of them.
Dream matches that we never got.
Bret Hart, Kurt Angle.
See, I have one similar to that. I have HBK Steamboat.
HBK Steamboat's a good one. Sting Taker.
Sting Taker's the classic.
Which, to be honest, I don't think would be that great of a match. It'll be a moment,
Yeah.
for sure. Will it be a good match? Probably not.
Did they ever do Taker Bray with his Fiend? They never did the
Not with the Fiend.
Not with the Fiend.
I think the Fiend versus Taker would have been an interesting one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of crazy ass bullshit, a Sabu in his prime versus any one of the kids now that does hardcore would be pretty interesting.
Sabu versus Nick Gage.
Yeah. In
That
a
was the
loser
plot.
leaves Earth match.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
But yeah, like in terms of hardcore matches, they're most of the time those matches have been, done in one way or another, but that there's never been like a prime so-and-so versus a prime so-and-so. It's usually one, like Tremont, I'm pretty sure went against Sabu at least once, but I don't think they did it in their primes. Another one would probably be, maybe we would see this again. Austin Punk,
Yeah.
it could happen. Will it? Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe not.
There's a lot of Punk matches that I could see that now can happen that we weren't privy to. I would love to see Punk Kevin. I'm not sure they'll ever do it, but
I did have a fantasy elimination chamber match.
of course you would. Does it start with Lex Luger?
No.
Damn. Barry Windham.
No.
Oli.
No.
Shit. Give him to me.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's a tough guy elimination chamber.
Okay, so Haku,
Haku's one.
Okay.
Damn.
Ooh, that's a good one, but I don't think he did that.
Not
Dr. Death.
Dr. Death also on the roster.
Yes, that's 2 for me. Badass motherfuckers. I mean Lesnar, right?
Lesnar's 3.
Okay, so 3.
You got half of them.
And I'm running out. I'm running light here. Tough guy motherfuckers. Not Butterbean for.
No.
Did you guys actually hear about the Butterbean match?
No.
Yeah.
Some people have claimed that it is the worst wrestling match that's ever happened.
Well, they have not seen Ken the Box versus Mecha Mummy.
No, that had something to live for. This did not. Tough guy.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. He was a king. Well, besides Haku, he was
Harley Race.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. JBL?
No,
You
I didn't even think of him, but yeah, that's good. But no,
What era are we looking here for the last 2?
80s.
Of course. Eddie Gilbert?
Eddie
No,
Gilbert.
he was 70s. No,
No, he was 80s, but Eddie Gilbert ain't no fucking tough guy.
Furry boots.
Oh, Gino Hernandez.
No.
Furry boots. Husk.
Oh, the Berserker?
No. but he looks like the Berserker.
Warlord?
Barbarian?
Was carried out by Tony Atlas to a stretcher after he's been stabbed.
Johnson.
Brody. Wow.
And the last
Brody.
one, I think, actually has a daughter that's in the business. I think in WWE, in fact.
Jimmy Snuka. You know how much of a tough guy he is. He's a murderer.
You're not wrong there. You're not wrong.
Bad Street, Atlanta, GA.
Oh, Hayes?
No, Terry Gordy.
Oh, Terry Gordy, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, you got 2 of what was one of my favorite tag teams, the Miracle Violence Collection.
There you go. Yeah, that's actually a good tough guy elimination chamber.
Who would win?
Oh God, Brody.
I'd say Haku.
Haku might, but I would put my Haku might just say, "No, you're not pinning me," and nobody would fucking say no.
No one would say shit to him.
What do you mean you don't want to take the pin? Okay. Well, I'm never gonna brother you. Okay, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other like major dream matches that are like current. Like, I would like to see Hikaru Shida walk over and like face Asuka, but you know, but you look at a lot of the Stardom talent too. There's a lot of Stardom and Marigold talent that I would love to see face like Gaijins that are in WWE. Like, I'd love to see Bayley just go after anybody in Stardom right now. Like, I think there would be a lot of good, interesting matchups there. I hate to say this, but the one person that I think would be the most interesting is very similar to what happened in the 90s and early 2000s in New Japan. Send Nia Jax over there to face anyone. They would make her fucking. They would literally make her Giant Bernard, you know.
Yes,
and just put her over hardcore there. And I think that would be really cool for her because I think she, as much as we shit all over her all the time, that's the kind of gimmick that gets over in Japan.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And guys that just got released, guys like Braun Strowman, my God, you want to see somebody make more money than God? Send Braun Strowman to fucking New Japan Pro Wrestling right now.
Especially now when there's like no talent.
Fucking Naito's gone.
Yep.
There's nobody left. They're trying to make new stars. Goto is their fucking world champion right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Heavy G, put yourself over.
You can catch me and the Hall of Famer Fatman on the best Dart Sports Show period 2 coming up in a couple minutes time. We're going to talk Major League Baseball. We're going to talk NHL playoffs, which is my favorite time of year. NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about Prankgate in the NFL and so much more. That's on the best Dart Sports Show period 2 coming up in about 5 minutes time.
Oh, you have to clue me in on this because I had no idea.
So during the NFL draft, there were a bunch of people that prank called the draftees that they got drafted by a certain team when they did.
Right.
And they were all related to NFL executives.
Right. The one that got caught was the Atlanta Falcons GM.
Nope.
Oh,
defensive coordinator. Son
called Shedeur Sanders and pretended he was Cleveland, and was going to take him with the fifth pick.
Mm-hmm.
And it never happened. The organization got fined $250K. The defensive coordinator got fined $100,000. And it turns out that 3 other players got prank phone calls too, including Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State.
Yep.
Okay. Why find the team?
They saying that because it was leaked information that shouldn't have got out.
That they got pranked?
That's the premise.
Well, you're saying why? I'm saying only 200,000.
Yeah, but why the team? I understand
because they were. So basically, it's the NFL going. Since you're employed by the team, the team should have stopped this.
Right.
It's basic. I see what you're saying, but
it's like saying, what if you're okay? Let's throw this out there. It's like saying you own a business and one of your employees' sons prank called somebody. Why are you getting fined?
I understand where you're coming from, but the NFL was dropping the hammer on the team. And
fuck off. They just wanted money.
Well, that too, but also, I think it wasn't harsh enough.
I think too. I think
they should have They should have took away the first round draft pick next year.
We'll talk about that and a whole hell of a lot more coming up.
The only thing that should have happened was the guy should have gotten fired. That's it. I don't know why he's still employed. Should have gotten fired over it.
That's probably why the NFL decided to fine the team.
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't going to fire him. They didn't fire him. It's like, okay, we're not going to fire him.
It's going to cost you $250,000 here.
There you go.
Well, considering they make how much?
Yeah.
Over the course of a year? What is that? Drop in the bucket?
Well, let's see here. When I first got NFL Sunday Ticket, this was years ago, probably, I don't know, over almost 15, 20 years ago. It was $160 a season.
Yeah,
it's $300 if you have YouTube TV. It's $370 a season. If you don't have YouTube TV, it's $450 a season.
Because you're basically paying for YouTube TV on top of it, right? Do they just give that to you for the cost?
Not for free, but you get a little bit of discount on YouTube TV if you get NFL Sunday.
Yeah.
So let's say, for the sake of argument, 1,000 people. No. That's not even 1,000. That's 600 people signed up for NFL TV. That's enough to pay for the fine.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. It's all fucking bullshit.
And millions. Well, this is revenue going to the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's some profit sharing. Yeah. I'm sure there's some sort of profit sharing there. I know we went off this weird topic, but we're kind of like working our way into your guys' show.
Yep.
Mainly because the guy that doesn't know shit about sports needs to talk about.
Hey,
The
Summer Olympics are coming up here soon. The Winter Olympics are coming up here soon.
Say
Yeah,
the Winter Olympics are coming up.
It depends on where you are. Yeah. I'm at TW Sleazy.
Hi.
Oh, fuck you. We're a SleazyFatman. You know, okay. So full disclosure, we were talking about this off the air too. How much fucking social media we actually use is fucking garbage. I barely use my Twitter account. I post once a week on our Blue Sky account, and I don't even think I use my personal one. I use the SleazyFatman one. Most of the time, I'm not on social media anymore, and that's saying a lot. So, I know Dietz, on the other hand, is very in tune with like Twitter and shit like that. That's why he's got the account. And Ryan and I are both Redditors. Ryan and I are both TikTokers.
I've been getting more into YouTube than I used to. Well, that doesn't mean it's. But that doesn't mean it's wrestling related.
I'm big in. I love YouTube. I watch.
And the Hurricanes just tied it.
Okay. Yeah, the fucking YouTube is amazing. And full disclosure, we're on YouTube.
Yep.
But
segue.
At youtube.com/SleazyFatman. We're also on Twitch at twitch.tv/SleazyFatman. And if you like that premium content like Ryan's one titty, you can go to onlyfans.com/wrestling show because of a bit we did 5 years ago. Unbelievable. Like and subscribe on your favorite platform. Click the notification icon on YouTube. Explore more content at thewrestlingshow.com. That's going to get a refresh soon again. But yeah, obviously, thanks to EVG, obviously. This show was off the rails, but I thought it was a really fun show, honestly. But obviously, for EVG, and as always, for Sleazy.
For the Fat Man.
This is a wrestling show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
Fuck Dave Mouser. We did not say that once.
Right?
That pisses me off. Fuck Tony Khan's alleged coke habit. A hot dog's not a sandwich, you fat fuck. A sub is not a sandwich. A burger is a sandwich. Burritos and tacos aren't sandwiches. Next week, we're actually covering a show.
What?
Backlash.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain in the game. The bloodshed in your name. When there's nothing to gain, I'm a world gone sad.